Arthur the Rat. Once there was a young rat named Arthur who could never make up his mind. Whenever his friends asked him he would like to go out with them, he would only answer, "I don't know." He would say yes or no, either. He would always shirk making a choice. His Aunt Helen said to him, "Now look here, no one's going to care for you if you carry on like this. You have no more mind than a blade of grass." One rainy day, the rats heard a great noise in the loft. The pine rafters were all rotten, so the barn was rather unsafe. At last, the joists gave way and fell to the ground. The walls shook, and all the rats' hair stood on end with fear and horror. "This won't do," said the captain. "I'll send out scouts to search for a new home." Within five hours, the 10 scouts came back and said, "We found a stone house where there is a room and board for us all. There is a kindly horse named Nelly, a cow and a calf, and a garden with an almond tree." Should we stop? It's the windows, those windows, yeah. Within 5 hours, the 10 scouts came back and said, "We found a stone house where there is room and board for us all. There is a kindly horse named Nelly, a cow, a calf, and a garden with an elm tree." The rats crawled out of their little house and stood on the floor in a long line. Just then the old one saw Arthur. "Stop," he ordered coarsely. "You're coming, of course?" "I'm not certain," said Arthur, undaunted. "The roof may not come down yet." "Well," said the angry old rat, "we can't wait for you to join us. Right about face, march." Arthur stood and watched them hurry away. "I think I'll go tomorrow," he calmly said to himself. "But then again, I don't know. It's so nice and snug here." That night there was a big crash. In the morning, some men with some boys and girls rode up and looked at the barn. One of them moved a board and he saw a young rat, quite dead, half in half, out of his hole. Thus the shirker got his due. Kit. The quick little kitten thinks it bit a pretty big fish. Dress. Many of Jeff's best friends slept in mesh tents in pleasant weather. Trap. The harrowing black cat dashes at any man and lands on the plaid carriage. Lot. The honest swan stopped and acknowledges the fox dodging the bothered wasp. Strout. Mother loves butter that comes from the southern countryside. Foot. The butcher should put the pudding in the wooden nook to cook. Bath. Can't have the staff asked to answer to the enchanted castle in France. Cloth. Lawrence often offers Ross a Florida orange and horribly strong, frothy Boston coffee. Nurse. The early bird preferred the earthy worm. Fleece. These unique machines teach people to speak and reason. Face. The raven waits until late day for the great wave to break. Palm. Father and Ma said to calm the facade in the Nevada Plaza. Thought. The small walrus caught the hawk in the salty water. Goat. The rose slowly grows in Owen's old grove. Goose. Beautiful music booms and humans move to the groove. Price. The shy writer types at night to fight the silence in my mind. Choice. The spoiled boy hoists the toy from the soil. Mouth. Mountains of flowers crowd the grounds about the house. Near. Desiree's fear seriously interferes with her ideal career. Square. Beware of scars, fairies, rare mirror, and scary prairie bears. Start. The Sahara partly marvels at the far star on the safari. North. Laura's warm aura reforms Thor horse for the important war. Force. The adorable boar snores hoarsely and notoriously hoards imported pork. Cure. The tourist endures rural tours of Europe and procures gourmet bourbon. Happy. The coffee, salami, spaghetti, and macaroni are ready. Letter. Sugar covers the tiger's whiskers. Comma. Bertha's and Cinderella's saga is a drama. R. Richard, Wilbur, and Harry are running around the treacherous river. L. Linda and Ali pull belly muscles laughing laboriously. NG. The singing mockingbird is swinging on the ring and dings the awning. TH. The thespians gather and breathe 3 authentic breaths together. H. Hilary and Harry happily harvest heap of herbs behind the beehive. Yod. The cute, dutiful blue cuckoo resumes cooing suitably, tunes enthusiastically. W. Will and Drew whistle when the wind blows between the whimsical weeping willows. ING. Miss Fanning is walking and hiking in Wyoming. S. Susie lives in her sister's house on Easy Street with her Siamese cats and Siberian husky dog. Interesting too, because I knew that because he's been planning his own Camino on the forum before he walked. So I knew the guy in quotes. I never, of course, met him, but I knew his planning from almost a year before. So I knew what he was going to do. I knew he was been planning it, and you kind of know, you get to know a person by reading the questions they ask and how they respond to it, and you kind of get to know a person. So when you saw him, of course he didn't know who I was, and I didn't make myself known. That was not important, but just seeing him come in and knowing how much he's planned for it, how much it meant to him, and then knowing that he's been walking barefoot, and then seeing the other people also knew what he had gone through. It was good. Well, I guess you could see there's been a lot of turns, because I'm Norwegian, I went to the US and ended up in Spain, so that's not a straight line. But it's, I never had a master plan for my life. I just let it take me where I want to go. So every decision of going right or left has been my decision, and it's hasn't really been any difficult decisions. There's just decisions. If I'm going home, I'm going to my son and my wife. But then I can also go home, which is where in Norway, where my mother lives and where the rest of my family lives. And the good thing about living in Spain compared to living in the US, because there was a time when we were thinking maybe we should stay in the US forever and live there. In Spain, you can get to Norway relatively fast. So it's not that and it's also from the US, going to Norway is a long trip, that's one thing, but in the US also, when the work there's not much vacation time. So if we have my wife from Spain and I'm from Norway, and we have to split the 15 days we have between the two countries, there's no more vacation time for us. You have to go there, visit family 7 days, and then 7 days in Norway, and then you have to go back. And that was that year's vacation. Living in Spain is totally different. It's much more flexible. Ja, kanskje vi kan snakke litt om hvorfor man skal besøke Norge, for det er et veldig flott land. Jeg vil si at det beste tiden å besøke Norge er i mai. 17. mai er Norges nasjonaldag. Det er en veldig fin dag for å komme og se all feiringen som er i Norge 17. mai. Og fra 17. mai og juni, juli, august er flotte måneder i Norge med masse sol og midnattssol og masse fin natur. Cuando vienes a Santiago para visitar Santiago, si eres peregrino o turista, yo recomiendo siempre pasar por la Plaza de Abastos, que está justo aquí detrás. También por la catedral. Y si tienes algo de tiempo extra, a la costa. A mí tengo una playa que es mi favorita, que es la playa que está en Catoira, que está genial, que está muy larga y con mucha arena y poca gente.